Welcome back to Visiting the Cave, where men get to have their say. I'm Felicia Webster, and this episode is about workplace and the cave. We're getting on harassment right now. So now we heard some really interesting stories from the first two. Daryl J., why don't you give us a little story? Have you ever been?
Yeah, and it's not a story. It really did happen. I was fresh out of college, undergrad, so I was young. I was in my early 20s, newly married as well. And I was pretty uptight back then. At any rate, it's a large government agency. The deputy commissioner was an attractive woman. She just recently got a breast job. Awesome. And she was going around telling women about her breast job. She would come to my cubicle and have in-depth conversations about her breast job. So I ignored her at first, because I'm a guy, and you know, you just don't cry about these kind of things with a woman. You kind of judge, I think. So at any rate, as time went on, she got closer and closer to me. It got to a point where I'm sitting down working at my cubicle, and she would lean over and have her breasts against my shoulders, my back of my head. You know, it was getting pretty graphic.
You're being supportive.
Yeah. Right. So she was older. She was a cougar, obviously, and she was probably at least 20 years older than me. All right. So I told my wife. My wife at the time was livid. Said, "You gotta tell somebody, because at this point it looks like you're accepting this. People think you're having an affair. We have to stop this now." So I told my boss, made his way to HR. She was, I don't know if she was forced to resign. No one ever told me what happened, but she did resign shortly after that. And for a long time in the office, no one talked to me. I was kind of like persona non grata.
You're that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy, because men don't report these kind of things. Yeah, so
you're saying you didn't get her phone number? No. Because there'd be no reason for me to ask you for it. I mean, how long do breast jobs last? I mean, she still has them, right?
And she's attractive too.
Oh, okay.
And see, with the harassment, it just depends on if I'm interested in a woman. If I want to do that flirting, you know, you work at these jobs. Most of the time, you're spending more time with your coworkers than you are your actual family. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you want that playful flirtation, you kind of like them. It's cool. Yeah. But when it's unwanted, you know, so there's a line, a very thin line. Right? Mm-hmm.
But in my case, it was clear. I walked away several times. You know, I stopped what I was doing. I left my own cubicle because she just showed up with a couple of girlfriends talking about her breast job. I mean, it was just real bizarre. So it was clear harassment in my case, but I'm a guy, she's a woman.
Oh, yeah, because I could see the tables turn. If it had been a woman, a young woman, and three men come into the cubicle talking about...
They're in cuffs. I mean, you know, so it's a different scenario. And I was young. I mean, I'm older now. I mean, now I just say, hey, go someplace else with it. You know, but then I just didn't, you know, and that ended it right there. But I was, you know, I was what, 22, 23 at the time. So
okay, yeah. So now let's talk about bullying. Now you know they're always talking about this whole cyberbullying with teenagers, but the truth is, email has been in the workplace for years and years now, and I'm sure there's bullying. I know I've been bullied by a supervisor via email, where you know they tried to throw me on the bus and CC everybody they could think of, including their grandparents or whatever, just to power play. So let's talk about some bullying. There's many different kinds of bullying in the workplace. How does a man deal with it?
Well, I was bullied I was really young, so only reason I was scared is because they were bigger than me. Now I can't fathom being bullied, but back then it was very frightful, because I was afraid to tell my parents, because my father was the type, "What do you mean you let him bully you?" But my mom was the type, "Let's go up to the school, let's have everybody in the auditorium, and we're going to finger this guy," you know. So you don't want to make waves on no level. And then you're villainized by everybody else. He's a punk, you know, he can stand up for himself.
So, Daryl M., what about, have you ever been bullied in the workplace ever? Have you ever had the experience of someone bullying you, higher up or someone? Or Daryl J., either one of you have?
Yeah, I have. I guess as a man, though, and I've been in environments where there's been a lot of women. So, yeah, I've gotten those emails where it went to like 90,000 people, and I was kind of put on the spot, thrown on the bus. I had to defend myself. But as a man, you have to be real careful how you express yourself. Women are allowed to express anger and frustration in the workplace with no problems.
Okay. Well, we're running out of
Okay.
time. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about bullying in the business, bullying at work. We'll be right back.